All right, so we are today tracking our progress on how to come back from burnout. For those of you that are just joining us, I'm Angela Brown. I'm a content creator and I am recovering from burnout yet again. As a content creator of 7 years, I have gone through burnout a multiplicity of times. And before that, a house cleaner of 25 years out in the field, lots and lots of burnout. So we're going to talk about strategies on ways to overcome that. But today, what we're going to talk about is really important. We're going to talk about tracking our progress. So yesterday we talked about the possibility of, are you a fancy car, or are you a middle of the road car, or are you an old beat up car? If we were talking in terms of your physical body and how you feel. As a content creator, we tend to take care of everyone else first and ourselves last, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? So the challenge that we have today is we want to make sure that as we move forward, that we're tracking our progress. If we were to get in a car and drive all the way across the country, that would be impossible to create a GPS map and track our progress if we didn't know where we started. So knowing where we started is going to be our assignment for today. So I don't care what kind of apps you use. I don't care what kind of tracking software. I don't care if you just use a pen and paper, if you use a calendar, it really doesn't matter, but you need to track your progress if you're going to bounce back from burnout. Okay. So the first thing that I want to pay attention to is I'm going to track my progress as well. And I'm going to share that with you on a daily basis. And a couple of things that we're going to talk about day by day is the different benchmarks that we want to meet. Because if, like I say, we don't track our progress, when we get down the road, we're going to go, oh man, I wish I'd taken before and after pictures of my body. I wish I'd taken before and after pictures of my business progress. I wish I'd tracked what I've learned so that I can see how far I've come, right? You're going to get down the road and you're going to wish you would have done that. So that's today's assignment. We're going to start tracking our progress. I want to start out by saying that I bought a Fitbit a couple of months ago, and I bought it not to track my steps, which is super popular, but I bought it because I wanted to track my sleep. And one of the things that I found was I was sleeping between about 3 to 3.5 hours of sleep a night. I know, right? So that wasn't very helpful, but it was affecting my attitude. It was affecting my clarity. It was affecting my brain fog and my irritability and a whole bunch of stuff, right? So the things that we're going to track are on a scale of content creator issues. And so the first thing that I want to pay attention to is the sleep at night. How much did you sleep last night? And so I'm going to be using the Lifelong Productions website, and I'm going to be tracking it publicly so that you'll be able to bounce over there every day and you'll be able to see how many hours did you sleep last night. It's going to help me if I publicly track my progress, because then I'm going to have to show up every single day. I'm going to have to show up every day on this show to tell you how I'm doing. And I want you to show up as well and tell me how you're doing. Okay. So it's going to be a two-way street, but we're going to hold each other accountable. We'll talk about accountability partners in a later episode, but today we want to talk about tracking. So track your sleep. That's going to be the first key to knowing if you're getting enough sleep and if you need to tweak it a little bit, if you need to go to bed earlier, or if you need to get up earlier because maybe you're getting too much sleep. I know. Is that possible? It's probably possible. All right. The next thing we want to talk about is hydration. Now, hydration is super important because, like, most of our body runs off of water. Got to have liquid and stay hydrated to make our brain function properly. It's great for our skin cells. It's great for regeneration. It's great for detox. There's a whole bunch of stuff that is required by drinking. So what I did is I got some of these little containers that are 16 ounces, and it just has a little straw on it. And I like this better than just a regular water bottle. And this is my apple cider vinegar lemon juice, which is also 16 ounces. And I'm going to drink this today. But what I like better about this is, instead of doing like this with your mouth when you drink, that creates all those, like, it looks like little smoker's lines. So I like this better because then I can just kind of like that. So it's going to be better for my face as far as wrinkles go, but then also my water for the day. So my goal for today is 112 ounces. And that's about how much I drink on a normal every day. And I just keep these at my desk so that I can sip on water throughout the day. Okay. So hydration is going to be super important. And I'm going to log how much water I drink per day. Now, the Fitbit app that I use is the premium app, and it does allow you to track all of your water through the day. So that's a thumbs up there for that. All right, the next thing that we want to do is we want to talk about intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting is not a new concept, but it's one of the freest concepts that I've found for rebooting your whole system. And we'll talk about that more as we go. But I'm on a 72-hour fast right now. And one of the important things that I figured out, and I just had a colonoscopy done a couple weeks ago, but they made me fast for 24 hours and I thought I was going to die. And at the end, I was like, oh, it didn't really affect me at all. Well, our bodies can go for long periods of time fasting. And what happens when your body starts to go through fasting is it goes from one energy source, which is all the carbohydrates that you eat that help create the sugar in your body that helps create energy. And then all of a sudden, when that is depleted, your body starts producing ketones when you fast, and it goes into a second energy source. So what's interesting is I was listening to a podcast the other day of Mel Robbins, where she was interviewing a doctor on intermittent fasting. And I started listening to it and I'm like, oh, you know what? I should revisit that. So I'm in the middle of a 72-hour fast right now. And all of a sudden, within just a couple of days of me going through the process, I've noticed that, yeah, I'm absolutely a lot clearer mentally than I was before. So I'm going to be tracking that as well. There are different lengths of time. You can fast for 16 hours and then eat for 8 hours of the day. So you're not starving yourself completely, but you're regulating when you eat. One of the problems content creators have is we sit in front of our computers and we just nibble on things throughout the day. And our bodies are continually then trying to process and digest that. And that can make us feel lethargic. And it can also contribute to brain fog, depending on the types of foods we eat, whether it's sugary sodas, whether it's snacks, whether it's processed foods and things like that. So I'm going to be tracking that as well. And I want to ask you to do the same. So the next thing that we want to talk about is nourishment. It doesn't matter if you are fasting and whatever. If you go back to eating crappy foods, it's not going to help your body a whole lot, because even though your body will try to detox, if you're just reintroducing toxic stuff into your body, it's not going to help you a whole lot. So we have to start thinking in terms of nourishment. And I want to highlight 3 things. There are 3 things that you cannot outsource to someone else. And as an independent contractor, as a content creator, as a business owner, and this goes for everyone else, there are 3 things you cannot outsource. Okay. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how rich, how poor. 3 things you cannot outsource. And that is your eating, your sleep, and your exercise. So you are the only person that benefits nutritionally from all of those 3 things. And everyone else around you is affected by your lack of. And so if you don't sleep properly and you don't eat properly and you don't exercise, while it affects you physically, it affects everyone around you. You become more grumpy, you become irritable, you're tired, you're stressed out, all the things. So I want to make sure that on this process of rebooting our systems and coming back from burnout, that we pay really close attention to those 3 things. All right, cool. I'm glad we talked about that. The next thing we want to talk about is content creator workouts. Now, with the Fitbit, there's an encouragement that we want to work out every day. And one of the reasons that we want to work out is because it improves our cognitive function. It improves our posture. We have clear mind, clear eyes. You know, if you got red, bleary eyes, working out will help clear those up. It will help your complexion. It will help your energy levels. It helps so many things. So when we say work out, what I'm talking about is get a pair of running shoes and get out the door. You don't have to join a fancy gym. You don't have to do any really extensive workouts. Just a simple pair of running shoes will do the trick. But you have to get out of your house and you have to go. Buying a pair of running shoes that sit on the shelf doesn't do you any good. If you join a gym membership, yay. But if you don't go to the gym, it's not going to help you at all. And so the tracking of our progress is where we're going to start being really honest with ourselves. Are you going to get out of your comfort zone? Yeah, you are. For 14 hours a week, you're going to get out of your comfort zone and you're going to reinvest in yourself. And I want to share this with you. As a content creator, you are your company's biggest asset. And so if you invest 14 hours per week out of 168 hours that you have, 14 hours of investment in yourself is going to pay you so much more in dividends. But if you're not willing to invest, you're not going to get anything back. It's like planting and harvesting. If you don't plant anything, there's nothing to harvest, right? So the investment is right now, whatever you're doing, if you're in burnout mode, it's not working for you. Whatever you've been doing is not working. And so you have nothing to lose by investing 14 hours a week in yourself. You have nothing to lose. And part of that 14 hours a week is working out every day. So I'm going to be sharing with you my workouts and what I'm doing and how I'm bouncing back and how I'm doing overall body workouts. And that's going to tie in with my nutrition and my exercise and my sleep. So we want to start tracking our exercise as well. Okay, cool. All right. The next thing we want to talk about is our moods, because if we don't navigate our moods, how do we know if what we're doing is working? Now, as content creators, many of us work solo. And so how we feel comes out in our work. And so if we're feeling crappy and miserable and in pain, those are the things that are going to come out. It's going to come out in I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm bleary eyed, I don't feel well. And that's the kind of content we're going to produce. It's not going to be our A game kind of material. And so if we want to feel fantastic and we want to be like that super fast, slick, shiny race car, we want to show up and have the best moods possible. So I want us to start tracking our moods as well. Now, with the Fitbit app, it also allows me to track my moods. And I have the premium service, which I believe is $70 for every 6 months or something like that. And as a content creator, I know we want to look for free and cheap, but us tracking our progress is an investment in ourselves. So I'm going to keep you guys as inexpensive as I can, but I want to share with you, and I will leave resource links below in all of the notes of all of the shows that we do, of the different Fitbit that I'm using and any of the supplements or solutions that I use so that you can know what I'm using. You don't have to buy them, but it's what I'm using. And I will only share with you what I love and what I'm personally using and what I think and believe works. And I should give you a disclaimer. All of the links that we use are affiliate links. And so we have monetized all of the programs that we do. And I'm going to show you how to do the same as a content creator. But using affiliate links is one of those ways that we've monetized. So I'm not trying to rip you off and I'm not trying to recommend something just to make money. I'm only recommending the things that I truly believe in. And I ask you to do the same. The next thing is the business impact. If we start on this burnout recovery process and we don't track the business progress, how will we know if it's working? So what we're going to talk about every day are the little projects that we're working on and where are we? Are we having challenges? What's happening? And did we make progress? Because it's only through watching the progress that we like, hey, wait a second, I'm starting to see all the dots connect. And one of the things in burnout is that we have let all of that stuff slip. And we probably know all the things. I'm probably not going to share anything on this morning show with you that you don't already know. This is just a really great reminder. And many of us are not doing some of those things, hence the burnout. Okay. So we're going to talk about the progress as well. Next thing we're going to talk about is the content creator challenges, because there are lots of challenges that are kind of behind the scenes that nobody wants to talk about. I want to talk about those. And I want to talk about what I'm being challenged with at the same time. And I expect that you'll jump in the comments and you'll leave notes and you'll say, hey, I'm working through that as well. Oh, this is how you overcame that. Maybe that will work for me too, right? We can learn from each other. And so my philosophy is, instead of me learning by myself, keeping my ideas to myself, if I share them with you and let's say 10 people show up, we're learning at a rate of 10. And so we all become wiser for having gathered together, right? So that's our progress there. All right. The next one is the progress of where we have started. So this is where I have started. The first thing is I had an electrocardiogram in April because I thought I was having a heart attack. And the doctors gave me clearance and they said, no, in fact, you're doing fine. And then I was just like, whoa, I'm super stressed, I guess, because my heart is acting up. And I felt like I was having a heart attack. And they said, you don't have any markers for a heart attack. Your arteries are fine. Go home and whatever you're doing, stop doing it. Okay, cool. I just had knee surgery in September and I did not recover very well. And ever since September, and I'm now in October, my knee has been inflamed and it's been in a lot of pain. And I noticed that when I try to get out of a chair, instead of just bouncing out of a chair, I'm like pushing myself out of a chair. And when I go up a flight of stairs, and I've got stairs in my house, instead of just like running up the stairs like I always do, I'm kind of like holding onto the handrails and pulling myself up like I'm climbing a rope. and I've just been in a lot of pain. One of the reasons I started the intermittent fasting was because I learned that it reduces inflammation. And I'm not wanting to be on any pharmaceutical medications to recover from pain. I don't want to manage pain. I want to make it go away. And so for me, I'm going to do the intermittent fasting to reduce the inflammation and hopefully recover from knee surgery. The next thing is I have menopause. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. I hope this never happens to you. And if it does, hold on tight because you're going for a ride, right? Nobody really tells you the effects of what happens in menopause, but I have put on 40 pounds in menopause and eating an avocado a day and gaining 2 pounds. I'm like, what is going on? And so this is me trying to regulate all the different issues with menopause. Okay. But in the process of that, I've had brain fog and I felt lethargic and I haven't felt very well. Okay. So those are the progresses. I'm going to update you on the progresses as I go. And hopefully these items will fall off my list as I get better. Right. So we're going to keep track of that as well. What is it for you? Leave in the comments in the notes below what you're working through right now, because there's something that you're working through as well. So I want you to leave notes and let me know what you're working through, and we'll cheer each other on. We'll keep each other in the loop. All right. The next thing is I want you to follow me. If you haven't followed me already, I want you to follow me. This is a chance for us to stay in touch. I'm going to be doing all of my progress reports at lifelongproductions.com/burnout. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is because right now we're doing 6 podcasts a day. We're doing 6 YouTube shows a day. We're doing 6 blogs a day. We're doing a lot of content. We have a lot of meetups and we have a lot of stuff that's happening. And so I want you to watch my progress and what's working and what's not. And I'm going to do that over on the burnout at Lifelong Productions. So just follow me there so that you can kind of take a peek around and see what's going on. The next thing is Lifelong Productions is sponsoring this show. I want to give a shout out to them because they are a group mastermind and they're helping us to get together and share our best ideas as content creators. And so there is a group that meets once a week. It's called Coffee Club. And we're putting together a collaboration of all of the best and the brightest minds in content creation. And so these are people that create YouTube shows, and these are the top of the top podcasters and people that have written books and courses and 30-day challenges and a whole bunch of people. So if you want great ideas, again, it's learning at the rate of 10 or 20 or 30 instead of at the rate of 1. My focus for you is you do not have to create alone. And I don't want you to create alone and feel bad and be in burnout, right? So that's what the whole mission of this is. So I'm really excited that you're joining me on this journey. Tomorrow, we're actually going live also on YouTube. And so that's where we're going to be every single day, where we're going to be having these conversations every morning, just as kind of a chance to check in with each other. And that this time together is part of your 14 hours a week. This is an investment in yourself. And as we cover a lot of the different little tips and strategies, it's going to make a huge difference where you don't have to go through the learning curve yourself. So I don't want you to go through this alone. What I do want to leave you with today, though, is track your progress. Whatever app you're going to use, however you're going to do it, I'm going to do it with my Fitbit. I'm going to do it also over on the lifelongproductions.com/burnout, right? And then I'm going to stay accountable to you by doing this show each day. So figure out what it is for you and then leave in the comments below a note on how you're going to track your progress so I can stay in touch with you as well. All right. As I leave you today, I want to remind you of 2 things. Number 1, you matter. And number 2, you are enough.